What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be analyzing the video Starship Velociraptor pretty much frame by frame. Now, I really like this video. I found it yesterday. I've watched it a lot of times, gone frame by frame a few times. So today I'm just going to take you through it, show you everything I found. You probably will want to have seen this video at least a couple times. You should watch it anyway. It's such a beautiful video, but it's so fast-paced. I think watching it a couple times first, you might wrap your head around the story, start to understand everything. I'll take you through frame by frame, just show you everything I've found so far, and then yeah, we'll see how long this video is. We might be here a while. So first of all, this is our main character. As you can see from this image, she's got either an iPhone with current UI, or maybe this is a different brand of phone in the future that just copied old iPhone designs, because this obviously takes place in the future. Now, I just let that whole thing play out there. It's very satisfying sounds. There's not much in there. There's a little bit when you can see her phone. There's a message from Stacy, her friend. This comes up later. She's saying like, "Oh, where are you? There's this concert." It's implied that Stacy is at a concert and main character is taking a while to get there. Like, she's obviously pretty late. Like, where are you? He's here. He's about to close. Also, this almost every UI decision in this is inspired by Apple, so I will stop pointing them out, obviously, that they're similar to Apple. But I did notice the flake button. I think that's pretty interesting. I'm not sure exactly what that would do. Maybe it sends them a text like, "Hey," maybe AI generates a text to flake, because this is like the future. Maybe it generates a very good flake text, like, "Oh, sorry, my mom just died," or something, you know. Continuing on, this whole part, very satisfying. Just all the sounds, everything about it, really well done, I must say. Excellent work. Here you can see what appears to be the YouTube app. We can look at her recommended, or I guess her up next. I don't know. I don't use the YouTube app. One thing, most of these are, I typed in the search bar. Most of these are pretty mundane. One thing I liked was Yo-Yo is best JoJo. I thought that one was pretty funny. And then she finally finds, here we go. Starship Velociraptor by Galactic Kraken. There's also the Deep Space Kraken trailer. This scene will come into play later, so remember this. She selects it, music starts playing, whole bunch of stuff happens. I think this stuff is kind of to get you into the vibe of like old 80s, 90s aesthetic, kind of like, you know, you got a jukebox, you got these clunky like old analog signals, you've got like an old fizzy old bottle of soda. Here is something very interesting. This multivitamin gum that she has is supposedly orange shapped. Let me full screen for you here. Is orange shapped. I think there might have been a misspelling. Maybe languages change throughout time, and so maybe like that's how you spell shaped in the future. The more confusing part is that the flavor is raspberry. Why would they have a raspberry gum that's shaped like an orange? I don't know. That's kind of weird. Maybe there's been enough genetic modification in the future that they've made raspberries as big as oranges, and also they like crossed raspberries and oranges together, and so now they created a super fruit that they call a raspberry or an orange depending on how they feel. I'm not sure. Not really much going on here. She's in the elevator. You can tell from this that, and Capital Metro, she's at the train station. Not much going on there. She ascends down through this transition that looks like a metro line. Kind of. I don't know. I'm from America. We don't have trains here. One thing I liked about this is when she swipes her card to get in, after she swipes it, it says gatekeep or perish. I do not know what that means. I'll go look it up. Okay, I'm back. I looked it up and I could not figure out what it meant. So, it might be a play off of publish or perish. A phrase used in, I believe, academia. Maybe literature too. I'm not really sure. I just saw a spider in the closet that I'm recording this in, so that's, I'll try to make it quick. Don't worry, guys. Continuing on. I like her shoes. I think they're cool. I like the little light up band at the end. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll try to recreate these. You can see the person playing the guitar here. They have hands. And so their nails aren't long, so we know it's not main character. But they're also not wearing gloves, which is interesting because the lead singer is usually wearing gloves, as we'll see later. So she just misses her train in the story. Starship Velociraptor. Boom. I really like this sequence here. First of all, of course, I really like how her dress looks. Or her skirt. I like the way it flaps in the wind here. But then, afterwards, during the Starship Velociraptor titles sequence, I really like the stretch to widescreen. I think they do it quite well. Like that. That looks pretty cool. Okay, so here's our lead singer, Jonathan Young. He also plays a big part in the music video. Not only does he sing, he also plays a character in the rest of the video. Here is, I believe this is Volta, the animator. Beloved, like, Volta, you aren't watching this, but great work. Truly amazing stuff you did here. I believe this is Volta's depiction of themselves. They seem to have 6 arms, maybe more. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think you could do a lot of stuff with that. Push-ups would be pretty easy. And they clearly do a lot of push-ups. Look at how buff that person is. Continuing on. So now we see our main character. She's rushing along the streets. And presumably to get to the concert that she's late to. Sorry about that. Her friend is texting and saying like, oh, this place is so full of haters, come on, you gotta get over here. Her nickname seems to be Yui, which, if you remember, her friend from before, her name was Stacy. So Yui could be a nickname for Stacy, or this could be a totally different friend. Maybe Stacy and Yui are there together, and they're waiting for main character. So, she's sliding around on her bike, looking all cool, but then she sees the place is sold out. The fangirl density is critical. And this is kind of interesting. Look at the shape of this building. Is this an old mine? Like, it looks so industrial. It looks like these are big, like, grain hoppers, maybe? And this is, like, something that all the ores would go on. This looks like a conveyor belt. Like, what's going on here? I'm really intrigued by this building. What sort of concert is held in an industrial grain processing plant? Maybe that's just this guy's style. Maybe his name is the Grain Lord, and he really likes to play on top of a large pile of grain. That aside, so now you can see she's shocked at first, to see the news, and then mad. She lets out an F-bomb. Then, luckily for her, her life is about to change because she missed it. She missed the concert. Out of nowhere, she sees the Starship Velociraptor just appear out of the sky. One thing that's interesting is that there seems to be a wine cellar on the Starship Velociraptor. I mean, I guess I might expect it, but you'd think in the future they would have some sort of, like, chemical way to age wine or something. I just find it interesting that there's still wine cellars, even in a time where there's starships. I looked it up. I could not find out what high pressure LCL meant. If any of you know what that could mean, please get in touch. I'll issue a retraction. I'll make sure to correct my video in the next one. I think this watch is kind of interesting. If you look at it upside down, it seems to say Jolex. I think that's a J anyway. Let's see if we can... This might say subspace? I don't know. I'm twisting my head upside down. It's hard to tell. So, that's just cool. We see this businessman, who seems to be trying to get her to seal the deal. And we're introduced to two very reoccurring characters. I'll call them Backup Person A and Backup Person B. Maybe just Backup A and Backup B. These people show up all the time throughout this music video. They're pretty much everywhere. So, probably get used to them. One good example is, the next frame, in which Backup A, I believe, Backup A is on the billboard. I don't really know what that means, but blood type blue identified. Maybe that's like a song? I'm not sure. Get ready, this sequence is pretty cool. I like it. So, my interpretation of what happens here is that she gets beamed up onto the spaceship, which is why it like zooms into her eye and then goes like through all the inner workings of the ship. That's what I think happens. Let's take another look at it. So I think that whole sequence is her being beamed up here. You get a shot of the core reactor, and then this is probably her being, like, recreated aboard the ship. That's what I think is happening here, anyway. It's probably a reference to old anime or something. I don't know, I haven't seen any old animes. Here we go. Backup A is back again to seal away the antimatter sphere. There's Backup B, who seems to press a lever, maybe pull a lever. It's hard to tell because the camera is also moving. Yeah, she definitely pulls it there. So she pulls the lever, all the hardwood floors instead of tile come up, and then she's standing in classic 80s type office looking place thing. A bunch of people bust out of there, and I won't name these people because they don't come up again. But you'll notice that all of them are red. We might get into that in the color theory section of the video. So, you know, they're trying to... They seem to be showing her a lot of money. I assume this is money. And this is gold. So they're like, whoa, look at all this money, I guess. Then a person I like to refer to as Chadface Guy shows up and puts a strange black object in front of her face. So he pulls it out of his suit and then sets it like in front of her, as you can see there. But I'm not sure what it is, because then Backup A comes in and forces her to put her hand on something, but you can tell that this thing that she put her hand on is not the same as the black thing that Chadface Man just put in front of her face. Like, that is obviously not the same thing as this. And I'm not totally sure what's happening in this scene, because as you can see, her fingerprint is approved. She's 120 pounds, 5'6", blood type is blue. Oh, no way! We get the name of the main character. It's Hato. Hato Suzuhara? Sorry, I'm not Japanese, I'm American, so I will have trouble, pronouncing the names of people from other cultures. So her credit score is average at best. I have bad news for her. It, might go down soon. But more importantly, I think she's getting, like, scammed, maybe stolen from. Because look, so she forcibly Backup A. Sorry, I went too far back. So Backup A forcibly puts Hato's hand on the scanner and then enters in some pin of some sort. I'm not sure what the pin does, because Backup A shouldn't know Hato's, like, credit card pin or anything, but then after putting it in, Hato scans a card. Now, if this is, Backup A scans a card. If this is Hato's card or Backup A's card, we aren't sure. You can kind of guess that it's Hato's card. She doesn't really seem totally on board with this whole thing, unlike these two people. They're really smiling. I think this shot really shows a good juxtaposition in skin tones between the Red Gang and Hato. But, as you can see, her card is swiped. But one thing you might not notice is that her credit score actually goes down because of this. As you can tell, her credit score plummets from this. I'm not exactly sure what this scene is supposed to mean, because I think it's that they're making her pay for, like, a test drive of the Starship Velociraptor. I think they beamed her up and then are like, you have to fly this thing. It's the best ship in the galaxy. It's got 100 laser blasters. And then they just, like, take her card, put her hand on the thing, enter the pin, swipe the card really quick. She can't really react in time. And then, before she knows it, she's being fully encased in a metal suit. This seems to just be one of the ways to pilot the thing, the Starship Velociraptor. But once that happens, she gets some motorcycle type controls. As you can see here, once it goes into place, there's a dummy plug. I don't know what that is. It might be a motorcycle thing. I'm gonna look it up. Okay, I looked it up and it's from Evangelion, just like pretty much everything else in this video. So it seems to have some sort of futuristic motorcycle type controls, maybe? But also kind of VR-ish, because it seems as though when she pushes her hands forward, that's how you control the Starship Velociraptor. Like, maybe just by moving your hands, you can control the thrusters, sort of. That's how I think the control system for this ship works. Pretty cool shot. Not really much to go into here. Just flying around. She She seems to enjoy it. Lead singer, again. He comes in a little bit, but, you know. I suspect this is a person from the band. It goes through a few shots of people that either don't show up again or barely show up again. I think these are people from the band. So there's this guy who seems to be a guitarist. And then there's this guy who really seems to be a guitarist. Like, look at that. And then there's this guy who seems to be a drummer, but also a lizard. So he's really pounding on this, all crazy like, and then he goes all crazy like. You know, he really splits apart. And then Starship Velociraptor. I think it's called Starship Velociraptor because of the funny way it opens its mouth here. It's like, eh. Oh, eh. It's like, bleh. Oh, it's so funny. But yeah. Here you can see a few statues. I went through this a bit, and I couldn't really find perfect analogs for all these people throughout the rest of the music video. This might just be random statues. This probably is a reference to an old anime. I don't know, I haven't seen any old animes. But it's obviously a reference to The Creation of Man by Michelangelo? Not the Ninja Turtle. I think that's the guy that made that painting. The one in the Sistine Chapel. Anyway, continuing. This is just a cool shot. I really like the way, like, all the screen shake. I like how everything explodes. I mean, you know, I just like right here, like, big shake, everything is exploding. Just wanted to give props to Volta for that. So now, I think she's been put back, like, her test drive is done. She's back on the ground. She's looking up at the Starship Velociraptor like, oh my god, that was so amazing. What a wonderful, I need to do that again. Here there's other people also fantasizing over flying in the Starship Velociraptor. With backups A and B here. Not much to say there. Cool shot. I really like the color purple, so I think this video was like a perfect video for me. It really felt like Volta made this specifically for me. This is truly marvelous artwork. Great work, Volta. So then she's running somewhere. We don't know where she's running. Let me go back. She's running somewhere. Then she stumbles across a motorcycle. She seems a little surprised by this motorcycle. Or maybe it clicks like, I can steal this. So then she does. She takes the motorcycle. Drives away. On her way, Starship Velociraptor shows up. Followed by this person. I think it's one of the backups. I'll have to do a facial recognition scan on it to make sure. But anyway, so then she stops her Janin brand motorcycle, and then she's there at the Starship Velociraptor theaters. I'm not sure if this was her original destination, or if she just saw it on the way and had to stop there because she loves the Starship Velociraptor so much. I would say she wanted to go here, but there's this question mark here. She seems like surprised, like, oh, the Starship Velociraptor theaters, I can go see it. This will be amazing. Another thing to consider is if she was just going to the theater, why would she have stolen a motorcycle? I mean, that it could be the case that she was just going to be late to the next show, which would explain her obvious rush. Like, that's why she was running before. Or it could mean that she was going somewhere else and then saw the Velociraptor theater on the way and just had to stop and see it. I think either work and don't really matter to the story, but it does have a few implications. So here she gets a ticket, scans it. Wait, no, she doesn't scan it here. She's just tearing it off. So this is the 4th film by Volta, which is interesting because that's the person who animated all this. I thought that was cool. You know, The Fall Before the Chops, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's probably a reference to something. Here we can see Demon Fish Lady. I guess maybe Vampire Fish Lady. She comes in later in the video, but I just wanted to point out this is her first appearance in the video. And then she does parkour over this red rope thing. I forget what these are, but Buford from Phineas and Ferb never leaves home without his. I'm kind of confused by this because she seems to be vaulting over this. And if I know anything about parkour, it's when you vault over something, you always are moving your hands back towards you. But in this shot, she's not moving her hands at all. If she was, this red rope would be moving backwards towards her. I think this move would be very, very hard for anyone to do because she seems to be leaning over. So she's clearly putting some weight on the red rope here. But it doesn't move at all. If she was putting weight on it, it should totally move. That thing would be incredibly hard to put weight on without it moving around. So maybe this is a future material that doesn't move or whatever. I think she's just really good at parkour. As we'll see later in the video. She's very good at parkour. So anyway, here she seems to drop her popcorn. It doesn't seem like a big detail, but she in between this and the actual movie, she bought popcorn and a drink. Maybe she didn't buy popcorn or a drink. Maybe she stole them. We do know she has a tendency to steal things, but I think it would be pretty likely for her to have gotten just bought the popcorn and the drink. And if that is the case, then that kind of gives less credit to the she was rushing to the movie theater explanation, because she has enough time to buy popcorn and a drink. I think she's doing this parkour here just for fun, and maybe she didn't know exactly when the movie was starting, so she couldn't have been totally prepared. She was rushing just because she thought the movie was about to start, but then she realized it wasn't, so she was like, okay, I've got 10 minutes, I'll buy popcorn and a drink. And then she dropped her popcorn. Here you can see her head is down, but her eyes are up. I think maybe she dropped her popcorn, she was looking down, and then she's looking, and then her eyes latch on to the Starship Velociraptor. At which point she's transfixed, it's all over. She loves the Starship Velociraptor. Also, no one else is here. That's kind of funny. So I guess no one else being here kind of gives even more value to the she bought the popcorn theory, not she stole it, because no one else is here. Would she have just taken it from someone's hands? I'm not really sure. So then in this movie, there's her. There's the main character. I forgot her name already. It starts with an H. I'll just keep calling her the main character. So she's in the movie now, but as you can see here, it raises out of the movie. In here, there's the movie with this sort of film filter over it. But then it raises out of there, and the filter is removed at some point in here. I'm not exactly sure when, but Yeah, like it's raised out of that. So like we're out of the movie now. Yeah, like here there's no filter over all of it. So here's the main character. You'll notice that sometimes his eyes are red. Sometimes his teeth are red. It's kind of weird. But also I really like the shot of him falling backwards. I think he looks really cool when he does it. But like here you can see not red eyes. Sits down. And then red eyes from this shot. Maybe it has something to do with like the lighting, or maybe there's some bigger color theory in here. Here's the backup people again. You'll notice their colors can really change depending on the situation they're in. I think they do a lot with like the difference between like day and night here in this video. Like here it's obviously day because these people are so brightly lit, I guess. At first I thought it was the lead singer pressing this button, but if you freeze it, you can actually see it's backup B, I think, that's pressing the button here. I just thought that was pretty fun. And yeah, you can still see her pressing the button over there. That's just a neat little sequence. Oh man, do I have stuff to talk about here. So we can go into each of these things individually, and I have in the past, and I probably will here. A couple notable exceptions are gloodles. I think that's pretty funny. Gluten full. Those two make it interesting because it's like he says that it comes with a fridge that's full of meat, but I can only see 3 major meat products. There's Big Kahuna, which appears to be a burger based on the picture at the top. I'd consider that a meat. There's a big steak, and then there's Kobe? I do not know. It's probably Japanese. I'm not sure. And then there's LCL Panko, which is, like, it's like a breadcrumb, but what's more important is that could also perhaps be a meat. Like, if it's like a fish that's covered in panko, then that would be also a meat product, meaning so if this is meat, there's 4 meats in here. At least 4, like, confirmed meats. But some other notable things are, eggs aren't real. That's a pretty funny one. I think there should be more egg cartons that say eggs aren't real in real life. Then, it's kind of hard to read. I think it says eat spread. It could say cat spread, but I'm gonna go with eat spread. It might just be a spread that you can eat. Maybe it's like peanut butter or something. This says sound only. I'm not sure if this is food. Could be, though. And these are crab eye stems. So I guess we could add this to the meat section. But for a fridge that's supposedly full of meat, I would not consider this full of meat. I would say there's definitely quite a few meats in here. But, like, considering gluten-full gloodles, like these candy bars, like, maybe a slushie, maybe a coffee, something in here. This looks like milk. I wouldn't, like, a couple sodas. I would not say this is full of meat. But, I mean, it really depends on your situation. I know they eat, like, less meat in Japan, so maybe to a Japanese person, this is full of meat. Like, there's a whole T-bone steak, there's a burger, there's a box of Kobe that says the meat incident on the side. I did not see that before. That's ominous. But continuing on from the meat fridge. So now, in this shot, I might get into it more during the color theory section, but you can see, I think it changes from day to night here. Because you can see, first of all, her skin tone changes pretty dramatically. I think that's just due to the lighting change. She falls back into the bed in the holographic suite. But what's way more important is her fingernail color totally changes. Like, look, it's purple here. She falls back, it's bright yellow. Now, this might be color symbolism. This might be, she changed her fingernail color between those two shots, or it could be that this is like future. This is the future, and so their nail polish here has glow in the dark. They have like cool glow in the dark nail polish that's purple when the lights are on, but it's like bright yellow when the lights are off. I think those are all pretty plausible explanations. Oh, one thing I wanted to point out is look at how sharp her like collarbone is. It's probably just the art style, but like, wow, that is insane. You could fit 3 marbles in that. Maybe even 5 marbles, depending on how big they are. That's big. Continuing. So, here's a guy. He does show up later, just not... He doesn't seem to be that important to the story, as far as I can tell. He's mainly just to hit the button in the holographic suite. I guess he was watching her? I'm not sure. Sorry for the spoilers, but this is all a dream. Like, not all of it, but this section of the video is a dream. So she's dreaming right here. Which might explain the math equation on the button. My guess would be it's to explain, like, holograms. Like, this might model how a hologram might work. Or it might just be a random math equation. This is in her dream, so it could all just be random. But I don't think Volta would do that to us. Here we go. Here's the dragon kraken scene that we saw alluded to on her phone. At the very beginning, there's... Let's see. Yeah, right here. The Deep Space Kraken trailer. This might be an actual video on YouTube. I'm not sure. I haven't really done my research for this video. But continuing on. So here we meet Vampire Fish Lady again. I call her Vampire Fish Lady because she's encased in a fishbowl. Like, there's a fishbowl on her head and there's water in there, which is pretty cool. I quite like her character design. And also I call her Vampire because, you know, she's a vampire. That scene was pretty cool. Okay, but here you can see the Space Kraken is sending a laser from its third eye and hitting the main character. Then that right there is, my guess would be a reference to like Transformers or something, just the way this whole ship is like folding out of itself. I'm not totally sure though. I haven't seen old animes. That's definitely a reference to something or other. Like, that is so obviously referenced. Then here she activates her special move. Oh man, how cool is it? The Giga Drill Breaker. She uses it to blow up what might be a planet. I'm not totally sure, because there's this big ring here, and then what looks like more empty space. My guess is that she's using it to blow up the Space Kraken from before, just based on this story we've had so far. And then here she is, waking up here. So, I found it interesting, this, like, wave in the background. Like, it starts out really big, same with her hair, and then it calms down, same with her hair. But yeah, she wakes up, calms down a little bit, and then sees all the people from the Starship Velociraptor. Both backup singers. This guy from the holographic suite, maybe. This might be a different guy. I'm not totally sure. The lead singer. See, here his eyes and his teeth are both red. Maybe it relates to greed. Maybe red is the color of greed in this music video, although that wouldn't make a ton of sense. Here's also the guitarist we saw from earlier, and the vampire fish lady. So what happened here is she left her phone. She left like her location enabled on her phone, and so then they were able to track her to her exact apartment, and now they know where she lives. She doesn't like it. So at first I thought that this scene right here was them going through. I thought this was across multiple days. Like, each of these pictures was a different day, and it's like, oh wow, look at how everyone's just like staying. This guy like keeps coming over and trying to get her to buy it. By the Starship Velociraptor. But now that I've seen it, I think this is across one day. I think this is a single day of her getting ready to go to work. So she starts out just lying in bed. This guy's by her for some reason. Then she's brushing her teeth. Then she's taking a bath. Then she's making breakfast. And then eating breakfast, putting on her clothes, doing her hair, stuff like that. One thing I wanted to point out was the stuff on her fridge. There's unvandalized Puck-Man. Anyone who's seen Scott Pilgrim will get that reference. You know, Pac-Man was going to be called Puck-Man, but they were scared that they would like erase part of the P and turn it into an F. So they changed it to Pac-Man instead. Also, her shopping list is to buy DLC, complain, then buy DLC again. Kind of a jab at the gamers out there. All the gamers in the audience watching this video. Then these two are Evangelion references. I looked them up. You know, I don't know old animes. Oh, yeah, one thing that's interesting to note about this scene is the electrical outlets. So, in this shot, the outlets look like this, like two long prongs and then one up top. Kind of like a pseudo-American outlet, but with longer and, like, thicker prongs. Then, same in here. So, the two shots in the bathroom have the same plugs. But then, once we move over to the kitchen, you can see here the plug is like kind of, there's two things pointing away from each other, and in the next shot we get an even better shot. Like it's in this sort of triangle shape. My best guess for this is it's some sort of like GFCI. Like in the bathroom they have to have different plugs from in other rooms because like you have to have different plugs to meet a different electrical standard, so that you're sure it's safe for in the bathroom, for like if water gets on it or something. That's my best guess, but it could be that she's in a really old apartment and like not everything's updated to the newest electrical standards. I'm not sure, because we haven't seen anything plugged in to the old outlet design. So maybe it's like, oh, these stupid old outlets, I can't even plug anything into them. Like, this is so dumb. That could be how it is. I'm not sure, though. These books are a little interesting. There's 50 Shades of Toilet Paper. Maybe Volta is saying 50 Shades of Grey is garbage, like it's awful, it's toilet paper. Or maybe they're just making a little funny. Like, oh, haha, 50 Shades of Toilet Paper, am I right? Another thing to note is that these books, the side says, "Don't mess with my head cannon," and then the front of this book says, "It's wrong," which is a pretty funny thing to say. Like, "Oh man, don't mess with my head cannon. It's wrong." But anyway, here her eyes are a bit red. Maybe she's been smoking weed? I haven't even considered that when I was thinking about how this guy's eyes are usually red. He might just be high. But, my guess is she's, like, tired. She doesn't want these people in her house. And so maybe she's crying? I'm not sure. But she's getting ready with the backups. And then she, does her hair in morning commutes hairstyle. Don't talk to me. And then, sorry, she has 5,342 new messages on her, watch. That's a little, you gotta clear those up. But who am I to judge? She walks to the train station, takes the train. Then she's working at her office job. So, I think this is a financial thing. Probably something to do with stocks, because you can see this, like, stock market. The stock market seems to be doing awful right now. But that's beside the point. There's buy useless stock, push solar on Arctic communities, and claim educated use on commercial license? I'm not sure. I don't know what this one means, but yeah. Continuing on. I think that this is sort of like the Google dinosaur game. I think that's what this is, but I could be totally wrong. This shot of this computer really cements the like retro futurism vibe they're going for, I think. Like, it's so old, this type of computer. Like that, wow, it's just amazing. Like, this is the future, and that's what their computers look like? That's crazy. What's interesting about this is their calendar. It seems as though they have 5 days in a week. What's the deal with that? Like, did they change around their days per week? Maybe, I'm not sure. This actually seems pretty bad for a worker, because it seems as though they have this day off, meaning they have 1/5 of days off versus our current 2/7 of all days off, which 2/7 is greater than 1/5. So this calendar is worse for people working in office jobs, I'd say. Here she uses her butt to hit the button number 55. Right now she's on floor 15, so she goes up 40 floors. Not much there. Plums. Oh, there's something I totally forgot to cover. Let's go, back to the scene where they all busted into her house. Right here. It's not too far back. They had a sales agreement where the seller, it's saying, they would have to pay 20 million W per month. I'm not sure what that W is. It's probably their currency at the time. But it's for a gram number of years. Numberphile has a good video putting Graham's number into perspective. Basically, it's a very large number. But here in this shot, they seem to be not in this shot. Sorry for the spoilers. Here they seem to be. They're saying, oh, it's $99.99 easy payments of that amount. But this one's in dollars. I'm not sure why they would have different units, but maybe that's just how it is. Maybe it's like how Canadians use Celsius or Fahrenheit. or Americans use feet or football fields. One interesting thing to note is it's 1-800 Galactic Kraken. I would call this number, but I have anxiety. I'm not gonna, there's no way I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Okay, so here the Starship Velociraptor shows up. She's pops out. There's a guy in there, maybe a girl, I don't know. So she signs her soul away. I'm not sure, and she gets the key. I'm not sure if she, like, actually signed away her soul, like, gave up a part of herself or something. I think that's just to represent that, like, she, like, gave up her soul. She worked the office job. She did everything she had to do. And then finally, after all that, she was able to sign off. She got the key. And then she does the coolest parkour sequence anyone's ever seen. It's so good. I love the way the camera moves through this. I love the way she moves through this. Like, look at that. That was just truly amazing. Her slide under the desk, the start when she was taking those long strides with the camera flying all over the place. Amazing work to Volta. A masterwork in animation. Absolutely astounding. But anyway, here there's some serious romance going on here. Like, look at that. There's Love Kills Galactic Prince. This is the Galactic Prince, apparently. These might be references. Like, I don't know what a Bangyaru is, but these are probably references to stuff that I don't get. Here, an interesting thing is that this Galactic Prince is the same person that she missed the show. This was like the pop singer. Like, she missed a show earlier. And now he's in, like, her Starship Velociraptor. So I thought that was a good addition. So not only did she buy the Starship Velociraptor, she's also, like, dating a pop star. She has, like, everything she ever could have wanted. Like, I think this story really does go through, like, things that she can't have, but then she gets them anyway. Like, she sees the pop singer, but, like, she can't get to their show. And then later, she still gets him anyway. And same with the Starship Velociraptor. Like, she takes it for a test drive, but she can't afford it. But then she still gets it anyway. I think it's great. I wouldn't want a sad ending to this music. I wouldn't want to see her not get the Starship Velociraptor after all she's done for it. Just a couple of cool shots of, you know, this sort of stuff. Of her starting it up. Yeah, she starts up the AT field, apparently. A couple cool shots, you know. You'll notice that here she actually uses sorry for talking over him. You'll notice that here she actually uses a different control scheme than the one she was using before. Like, but here, it's pretty similar. But, like, for example, if we go all the way out to past the big screaming part, she presses forward on this, and it's connected to, like, it seems as though it's in this slot here, which, and it's not attached to her body, which is very different from the first time she took it out for a test spin, where her whole body got covered in metal, and then she controlled it like these things were attached to her body, but here it seems a bit different. My guess is they just have multiple control systems on the Starship Velociraptor. And yeah, that's everything. Um, so yeah, uh, thank you guys so much for watching. Let's
All right, so this is the color theory. This is the color theory section of the video. So, um, as you can see here, the main color theme of the video is kind of like, that's a really good shot, pinks, purples, and blues. But there are a few interesting, very story-related scenes where this isn't quite true for the entire scene. So first scene that we're going to be talking about um is this one where it's um these so here you can see over here there's a bunch of like sail people. They kind of burst into wherever she is there through a window, actually it looks like. But here they're as you can see, their colors are very much not purple. Um, they're more red, and as you can see, that kind of shares with the gold. So what I'm thinking is these guys, you can especially see it in her actually. They're kind of, evil salesman kind of people. So that's emblematic of the color red, which is usually tied in with evil stuff. Um, and especially here in this scene, you can kind of see they're not really cooperating with her. She's kind of just stunned, probably because they just broke through a window, but they're kind of just entering in her own, like, stuff just to try out the Starship Velociraptor, which is pretty scummy, not gonna lie, but at least you get the best character in the entire um animation right there. But another scene which is very um color related is here. It's the office scene. So as you can see here, um the colors are more realistic. They're pretty, bland, kind of grayish. Not many purples or blues here. Um, but this is almost definitely emblematic of just, boring office stuff. Nobody really likes working in an office. So that's why all the colors here are kind of dull and gray. The coffee is probably the most vibrant thing in this scene, to be honest. But yeah, so this, you know, pretty non-vibrant, but then at the end of the sequence, as she flips out and gets frustrated, as you can see, the color here actually snaps back to normal from, gray to blue. And it gets more and more vibrant until it's pretty much back to its original state. There's a Starship Velociraptor kind of just crashed into the side of the building. Um, but yeah, so the colors here are much more vibrant. That's just representative of, yay, now no more office. Because offices stink. But yeah, so that's probably the main two color theory sections. There's one more where she's in kind of like this dream sequence, um, which we covered earlier in the video. So here, it's less gray and monotone than the office sequence, because it's in space, but, um, see here, they're fighting the Galactic Kraken in her dream sequence on the Starship Velociraptor, but My main theory as to why it's kind of gray here is because it's like in a dream, gray is kind of representative of hazy, or it could just be that the Kraken is gay or gray. I don't know, but yeah. So those are the main color theory parts. The colors are very well done for this animation, but yeah. So I'll throw you guys back to Michael for closing out the video.
Hello, it's me, Michael, here with the outro. Okay, few things. First of all, it's been like 2 months since we recorded the last part. I messed up the audio, and I didn't want to re-record, so I just got lazy and didn't do anything with it for like 2 months, but now I'm back. We got Starship Velociraptor. He posted a new video that ties in, it's in the same universe, so I'm gonna be analyzing that at some point. A few things I've noticed. Actually, there's only really one thing, I think. Her phone is clear. I don't know how I didn't see this before, but yeah, it's definitely clear. Here, let's go through it. Yeah, like, look at that. Her phone, like, you can see her hand through it. That's so cool. Like, what? Oh, Starship Velociraptor is just too good. So yeah, my plans for the coming future, I might do a video on the timeline of Starship Velociraptor, like the full timeline of everything that happens. I might do a video on that's just like a compressed version that points out all the fun little details, like a compressed version of this video, kind of points out all the fun little details, all the cool things I noticed. But the big thing is that this video got really this video.
Try killing bugs the worry-free.
Oh man. One sec, guys, I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that one, guys. I don't have ad blocker on Chrome. I'm not even signed in. But yeah, Volta, as you can see, worked with Jonathan Young again to make a new music video. And at the end, the Starship Velociraptor's here. And even cooler, Hato Sugahara, I don't remember. Hato's here. She makes an appearance. This is crazy. I can't wait to, she's my girl. Like, she's my Minecraft skin. I can't wait to analyze this video, see what's happening, see how it all fits into the timeline. I'm gonna map pat this. That's awesome. So yeah, if you're excited for that, make sure you like and subscribe, and you don't actually have to do that. No one's gonna watch this video. I'll see you later. My next video might be real life. We'll see. Alright, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Keep Starship Velocirapting. Yeah, see ya. Bwomp.